All right, we are live with the Dads Who Lead podcast. Fantastic guest today, Kirk Westwood. Kirk is a master of intuition who has developed and coined the luck bubble. He's trained individual clients, special forces units, and professional sports teams to capture luck in the field. He has had a long professional and personal journey traveling the world to understand cultures and what makes up luck for us in this universe. So, Kirk, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Thomas. Great to be here, mate. Glad I could serve.
Absolutely. So, I just met Kirk this past weekend at a conference, and immediately we connected on the same wavelength, and his work of really understanding the human body as well as our environments and how they interact, I think will give a lot of dads insight into how you can take this luck bubble and turn it in, cash it in with your fatherhood. So, Kirk, can you start off and just kind of give us a background of how you got into this work?
Sure. In the year 2000, I got sick with an illness that they said would kill me. I slept 20 hours a day for almost 3 years and got down to 50 kilos, 100 pounds. And the only way I got better was by doing stuff that I didn't understand, extreme rituals and practices that defied logic. One of those things I learned was the use of an acute intuition. For over 10 years, I studied with a master, learning how to read people energetically in situations to understand what would happen next. And I became really good at it. And not only did I get better, but then people I was helping started to get better as well. So people started turning to me for healing, and I didn't want to be a healer. So I ran away from that. And I had two friends who were special forces, and I helped them solve some problems. And I became enamored with their lifestyle, jumping out of planes and blowing shit up. And they became excited about my skill set and how that could help special forces teams to solve problems. So at the age of 35, I, through Special Operations Command in Australia, went up to Special Forces selection as a commando. So I trained with the unit for a couple of years. And just before finishing selection, we start with hundreds of guys and end up with only a handful. I got stabbed in the left eye with a stick that had explosives on it, and it ate away the cornea in my left eye. So I was in darkness for 5 days, and over the next 4 or 5 months, my team toured Afghanistan, and I stayed behind. And I was forced to use my skills to try and understand this phenomena, which is how we could create luck in combat. It's very well documented for SEALs, Delta, SAS commandos, Green Berets, Spetsnaz, about having this ability to create luck in combat, getting shot through the webbing of their clothing but not hitting their body, getting up from a chair and a bullet hitting the chair, driving over an IED and not going off. With incredible commonplace regularity, this would happen to special forces teams. So I became fascinated with the subject. I started using my intuition to understand more of the dynamic. And I turned it into a trainable dynamic that worked. And became obsessed with the subject of good fortune and luck. But it wasn't actually luck. It was simply cause and effect. And what I observed was that good fortune wasn't born of what you do. It was a byproduct of the way that you are. Special Forces selection, the guys we're looking for, is not the toughest motherfuckers. It's not the hardest. It's not the fittest. We're all the same level of that. It's not the smartest. You're looking for those blokes who have this ability to, under intense amounts of pressure, can come back to the now, can come back to being present. And that's where I coined the 3 phases of the luck bubble, which was 1, there's no room for excessive emotions or thinking in combat. Just get the job done. It doesn't mean anything about you. Just get the job done. See, consistently, our minds are always trying to solve a problem that hasn't happened yet, or in an attempt to resolve our shit from the past. And what it does, it takes us out of the magic of the now. That's where it goes down. When you're present to all that, there's always information around you that can help you and just works in your favor. So the second rule of the luck bubble is to love your mates. You don't have to look after your teammates, but you will love them. Because whilst they're looking that way, protecting your back, you're looking that way, protecting theirs. Sorry, the other way around. Whilst I'm looking that way, protecting your back, you're looking that way, protecting mine. And in that ability to give that love. I see the guys come back from combat and they don't even like each other, but they fucking love each other.
Yeah.
They fucking love each other. You don't have to like them, but you will love them. You'll give everything you've got. Why? Because that comes back to you. That's the thing that comes back to you in tenfold. But it starts with you. It doesn't start with the qualification, oh, I don't trust them, or I don't think they're going to do the same. No, you just give it. Because on teams, you give it. And if you're not giving it back, you just get cut from teams because no one can trust you. The worst thing that can happen in combat is something happens to your opposite number. You talk to any vet, that's the thing that gets them through. We don't fight battles for queen and country. We fight them for each other. We lucky few, we band of brothers. What we wouldn't give to come back to this day, 30 years from now, and know what it's like to be in life and death situation with our brother, to fight for our brother. So the third rule, though, is just have a good time. It's just a game. It doesn't matter. It's just a game, and so is life. It's just a game, and how you win the game is by coming back to the now, developing the ability to go past your stuff that makes you want to try and always solve the problem that hasn't happened yet in an attempt to resolve your stuff in the past, coming back to the now. That's how you win the game. So that's the luck bubble in 3 steps. Straight up, give it to anybody. The actual application of that becomes a lot harder. So that's when I became obsessed with luck, and I started traveling the world and documenting rituals and practices that also create what looks like luck. I did hundreds of them. With quantum physicists and doctors, I would undertake rituals and medicines and practices. Some bizarre shit. I flatlined twice doing stuff. It was rather extreme. I don't recommend it to anybody, but for a couple of years, that was my lot in life, was to explore the outer realms of this magic within cultures, to try and find the connective thread. And I found the connective threads between them. So then upon return, that's when a producer from the US, a very famous producer stable, asked me if I'd come to the US and turn my pursuit into a TV series on the Discovery Channel called Kirk, Westwood, Mankind's Guinea Pig. And at a point in time, it just didn't work out. There was too many energies in it, and it wasn't serving the highest good, so I withdrew from that.
Yeah.
And that's when companies and teams and special forces teams and sports teams and celebrities started asking me, well, can you create luck for us? And I was like, well, yeah, I can. If you can do what I tell you, it'll work out. And so that was several years ago now. So now my life is devoted to, I have a container for 3 months at a time. I take 12 people and I take them through the dark night of the soul. I grind them into understanding how they don't know themselves. I teach them what they don't know about themselves that messes everything up in their life. Wow. And that's what I currently do, traveling the world, speaking engagements and engaging at a high level to create change, lasting change, not bullshit talkity change, but fucking change as decreed for all great cultures. And that's my job. Long answer to your short question. Sorry, mate.
No, it's good. And I think you really hit on a lot of important tenets, that it's not about short-term doing, but it's about being the person that just does things that need to get done. Just works out as
a result. Absolutely, without a doubt.
Now, you mentioned before we were online that during your time traveling the world, you did some research specifically on fatherhood and how that impacted the luck bubble. Can you drop into that?
Yeah, sure. It wasn't actually specific research into it as much as it was just obvious everywhere that I went. The American Indians say it best. Some tribes say it best. The mother's role is to show the child how it's loved up until about the age of about 2 years, about 24 moons. And then it's the father's job for the next up to several years to show the father, for the father to show the child how it is in the world, how the world is. Like, take to the highest peak and show the child that this is the lay of the land, this is your land, and this is your skill set that's innate within you, that's just obvious as a child. And then this is your problem, this is your thing, this is your stuff that you get hung up on. That's the role of the father energetically. Now, the degree to which that is met or not met, we make shit up. Daddy wasn't around. I see this personality type all the time. Daddy wasn't around. He was a truck driver, or I was adopted, or I was whatever it was. My own daughter, we adopted her out when I was very, very young. And I have a daughter. God bless her. Love her dearly. She was adopted out to a wonderful family who raised her wonderfully. But you can see it in her personality type that her default program is that there's something inherently wrong with her that makes her unlovable. Otherwise, why is it that she would not be able to smell her birth father? It's organic within us. I've done reads using my intuition on people, and I could go into the fact that their parents wanted to abort them as a fetus. And they're saying, what the fuck are you talking about, Kirk?
Wow.
Dude, I get what I get, and I've got thousands of hours worth of experience. I'm not fucking wrong. Go and ask your mother. They ask their mother, and they're like, oh my God, how could you know this? Yes, we were so broke. We didn't know what to do. We were scared kids. Yeah. So energetically, the fetus takes on this thing. But that's the way it is. That's the way the world is, and that's the way that I am in it. I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. I can't trust. I don't have the capacity. There's no such thing as perfect parenting. It is the role of human existence that you take stuff on the mother side, the feminine, and the masculine side. And that is your lot in life. This is the meaning of life through all cultures. None of these cultures agree with what the meaning of life is after this life. Reincarnation, heaven, hell, none of them agree. But they all agree in the great works, in the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Quran, the I Ching, in Kahuna law, in Aboriginal law, that the meaning of life in this life is to know thyself, and it will set you free. And usually that happens in a traditional culture, in a coming of age process. But we've been robbed of that for the last few hundred years. We don't have a coming of age process where the young boy at 12, 13, 14, he goes out into the wild and he gets his totem animal and he hits that struggle and he realizes that he doesn't know shit. This view that he has of the world is infantile. And it doesn't affect him then, it doesn't affect us as teenagers. But just like the weight of this pen, it's not much. But ask me again tomorrow if I'm holding it up like this, how much it weighs. My whole pain, my whole world will be about getting away from this pain. And so it is with emotions. So it is with the beliefs we have about ourselves. And any work you do with a conscious mind to go into what your beliefs are, it's full of shit. Because the ego's job is not to show you that. Its job is to keep you safe from pain. The only way through the pain, is being with your pain. I'm not enough. Oh, how does that make me feel? It makes me feel sad. Well, be with that pain. Breathe into that. Go through the layers to understand that. It takes the guide. And we don't have that in our culture of the guide saying to the young women, young men, go out into the wilderness and have a practice that was divined. Take the medicine. Take the ayahuasca, the peyote, the sweat lodge, the shaking, whatever it is, the breath work, whatever it is that brings you to that moment where you go, it's just a story that I'm telling myself. So what I observed of great fathers was that, in a lot of villages I would visit, interesting things, some of them, the masculine was not allowed to see the child for the first moon cycle, for the first 28 days. Because the child, at that stage, the brainwave is only just receiving. It's like we're in REM sleep. So basically the baby's only capable of REM sleep. It's got its eyes open. You see a baby with its eyes open. It's just like these vacuous pools that are just drawing in energy. You look at the child's eye, you know what it's like. Look at it. It's just, oh my God, they're just absorbing. But they're actually feeling, they're absorbing the feminine energy. That's all they need. What do they need? They need the boob for sustenance and they need love. That's all they need. The masculine, we're so dense in our nervous system, we've got nothing to offer a baby. Literally. Yeah. We've got a lot to offer the mother, having had the child and supporting her and being with her. We've got not much to offer the baby other than our smell and our love. And fathers see this. You'd see the child come to the father's leg at the age of 2 years of age because it's, it looks out from behind the leg. Take me out, Daddy. Let's go to the edge of the yard. Let's go to the edge of the suburb. Let's go to the edge of the city. Let's go to the edge of the wild. You see, it's so obvious. So in these cultures, when it finally came time for the father to come into the child's life, the father offered that structure. That no matter what's going on, it's okay. And the father's role is not to imprint their shit onto the kid. Just to be a vessel for that child. No matter how I'm feeling this way, it means nothing about you. I'm not going to thrust it upon you. So children growing up in villages, they don't sleep in one bed. They don't sleep in one hut. In fact, they're raised by the whole village. It takes a village to raise a child. So the child looks up and sees all these different versions of the feminine and goes, oh, The feminine isn't just my mother. That's not the way I'm supposed to be. The feminine isn't just, the masculine isn't just all the men just my father. It's all the men in the village. So it has this chance. It takes a village to raise a child. That's what that saying is about. And cultures with thousands of kilometers and hundreds of years apart come up with the same truths. That's the measure of truth for me in my pursuit over the years. It's like, shit, if I'm hearing the same thing 5, 6, 7 times, cultures that couldn't talk to each other, don't even read, shit. That's the truth. And it has a resonance to it. It's like intuition. It has a resonance to it that you can feel. It's not what you think, it's what you can feel. And so fatherhood became very distinct. It's a very distinct role. The mother, love the child. Love it. Give it love. And then the father is to show the child how the world is and how that child is in it, both good and bad. And understand that's not the truth. And that nature will teach you what you need to know. I just came back from the Amazon with a tribe deep with 8 shamanic brothers raised since birth to be shaman. And I remember swimming in the creek one morning with these 8 and 10-year-olds. And the river has got shit in there that can kill you.
Yeah.
And these 8, 10-year-olds, they're perfectly trusted to look after themselves. There's no helicopter parenting. There's no worry that they're going to be all right. They're taught from a very early age, good, bad, hot, cold. Don't do that. Do this. There's ramifications. But the child in nature just knows. It knows if it goes too far out the current, it's going to get swept away. You've got to let the kid be a kid. You've got to let the kid burn itself on the hot plate. You've got to let the kid make the mistakes. There's no such thing as perfect parenting. And the only thing we tend to do in Western culture is white knuckle parenting because you don't want to, because of our love for them. But if you want to love them, come to understand yourself. Deal with your own shit first. So you're not just thrusting this upon your kid. You know, don't carry on that lineage. And in African cultures, your lineage is everything. A lot of cultures actually you tap into when you're lost or when you can't find your way, or you stop. And it's akin to meditation or breath work, or anything you need is either 10 feet or 10 minutes away if you just shut the fuck up for long enough to hear it and to see it. And generally it's your lineage that comes through and they guide you. There's no resentment for the lineage. There's just presence to what information is around you. You know, we say this, it doesn't serve the highest good for me to say this. Yeah, it does. So we say we would die for our children.
Yeah.
How about fucking living for them?
Ooh.
How about dealing with your shit? It's a throwaway. It's a cop-out. How dare you say you'd die for your children? Because in that moment of time that probably won't happen, all of a sudden you're brave. No, fucking be brave and face your demons to be the best you possible. That's fucking love. Don't tell me of what you're going to do. Show me by dealing with your stuff, by coming to understand yourself. Know thyself. Then you can be a vessel for greatness for your child. The child's got to have its journey. It's going to have its shit. The best you can equip them with is the tools to be present to that stuff and not be scared of that, so they can move through it. It's the resistance to the pain that causes more pain. It's a piling on of your stuff that you think your child's perceived failure or whatever it is means something about you. Oh, if my kid's a good baseball player, that means something about me. Shut the fuck up. Support that kid in playing the sport that he would love to play.
Yeah.
Stand on the side instead of telling him what to do. Be with how it makes you feel and go, good on your fucking son. You're having a ball. These are the best days of your life, mate, for the next 30 years, and I'm here for you. I'm going to keep on bringing you to baseball, to football, soccer, dancing, whatever it is that floats your boat. I'm just going to support you in that because I love that you love it. I mightn't love it, but it means nothing about me. That's a measure of a great man.
How much security we have to have in ourselves to know, hey, I've built myself to a certain point in what I know matters to me and I'm still moving towards. And my kids are following my lead in whatever path they choose.
Right. So it's so the truth. And that's why programs like yours are so important, mate. It's so important. Dads Who Lead is a wonderful fucking program. Why? Because we understand that to lead, I need to be a leader. And to be a leader, it's not about telling someone to do something. It's about getting them to follow by how you are. Good fortune isn't what you do. It's born of how you are as a man. Dads Who Lead is a great and valid and worthy program, and I'll support you till the cows come home, mate. Good on you.
Thank you. I appreciate that deeply. So you talked about love and that difference between I may not always like my teammates or my kids, but always loving.
Mm-hmm.
And dive into that and what that looks like into some of your research, maybe not only with kids, but with teams as well.
Yeah, sure. So I see it in sports teams all the time. I step on in, and I won't work with an organization anymore unless I'm working with the top of the tree, unless I'm working with the head coach and or the owner of the club, because they're the ones who set the status quo. It's a ripple down effect. Unless you can change the good fortunes or change the way that the organization is from the very top, nothing's going to change. It's like putting Band-Aids on bullet wounds. You know, it's like trying to do your hair when the plane is crashing. It doesn't fucking matter. You've got to take care of the plane. So I would see this when they would bring me in to look at a team, and I get in an area 40 by 40, I'll get the whole first and second squad to train, and I put them through 90 minutes of physical, mental, and emotional abuse. But I push it back on each other. And what you'll often see is I say, okay, on me, and I'll start walking over. I say, it's fucking bullshit. You'll fucking run every time I say on me. So instead, you'll get in the push-up position. Okay, we're going to do push-ups until everybody's ready. Usually, the superstar athlete, more often than not, he's the one that's taken the longest to get in position. So I'll just wait. And finally they'll get down. I say, okay, everybody start again. So some guys have done 20, 30 push-ups whilst the superstar is getting into position. So, well, let's start again. Well, old mate over here thinks he's above you guys. He doesn't care about you. You see them look and go, and the best way to get athletes to do something is to shame them in front of their mates. Well, not shame them. That's not the right. It's to put them under pressure of love from their teammates. Because even after 700 push-ups, when you're just moving your head and you've got the superstar athlete who's still taking his time, it doesn't matter whether you're the first rookie on the first day. You look at that guy with a different set of eyes, you motherfucker, you selfish prick. And then this superstar say, oh, no, I'll get down. I say, no, everyone else is going to do 700 push-ups. You're not going to do 700 push-ups. I go, no, I'll do it. No. You can watch them in pain because of your choices, your ego. And athletes are the worst. They're children. They're just absolute children at times because they've not had anybody who says no to them. They're really, really good at what they do. The world says yes to them. It's not helping them be a better person. That's why there's such a cliche. After they finish drugs, divorce, lose all their cash, do dumb shit. It's just cause and effect. Because your self-worth was based on who you were as an athlete as opposed to who you are as a man.
Yeah.
You don't have to like your teammates, but you will love them. You're not going to cause them pain. Push-up position. You're in a push-up position. I'm not going to hurt my buddies. I don't hurt them. And what's interesting, it is the greatest leverage that I have, especially on special forces selection. When you're letting the team down, you do not last long. You get cut away in a heartbeat because you are not pulling your weight. You are a liability. Because you don't love them. You don't have to like your teammates. You're going to argue with them, different personalities, but you'll fucking love them. Why? Because when you love them and they love you back, 1 + 1 = 11. You have an energy that comes through that is beyond that which of the sum of the parts. That is where shit works out. That is where you transcend the odds. That's where the underdog wins. Because we're in it for each other. And that energy creates luck. That's in the World Cup. I mean, there was teams that should not have been. Was it Morocco? Morocco should not have even been there. But they were not going to let each other down. They were running until they could run no more. And if they got cut for the team, they championed the next guy coming in going, yeah, that's probably the right choice. It wasn't Ronaldo going, fuck you all, I'm the greatest of all time. That's not love for your teammates. That's ego. That's it. You don't have to even like your kids, but you will love them for whatever reason. There's personality difference, whatever, with your children. It's not your job to like them. It's your job to love them.
Yeah.
That's your task.
I love it.
And it pays you back in ways you can't imagine. Wives would hate when I would talk about this, because they'd say they'd see their husbands come back from combat, 6 months in combat, come back, combat role, and they're like, shit, you're looking at him like I want you to look at me, because we're so dense energetically, the masculine. The nervous system is so dense, and the feminine, they feel it. So boys get off the flight and they're walking to their loved ones, and they're like, you're in love with him. And we don't know what they're talking. What are you talking about? I'm not gay. I'm not talking about it, you idiot. I'm talking about the love you have for him on an energetic level. And the partners, the spouses want that. So guys, we're kind of dense in that way. We don't get it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. That level of connection and going through, and that's what I encourage every dad to do, is find an adventure with your kids that you go out and have together. And I don't mean like walking to the park, and like getting out, go backpacking, rafting, whatever that looks like for you. Stretch it, and it will open up a new level of connection. You all struggling through something together, because often we get in this trap as parents where the tension is between us and the child. A lot of the time, whatever, like certain things need to happen within the home, it's internal. When we get out into the world, now we have a shared task, we have a shared goal together, and it can open up a whole new space, a whole new level of your relationship.
Absolutely. And every culture has that, mate. Wilderness is the great cure-all. We spend our lives in our cities in amongst the blue screen that just feeds us bullshit. Get out into nature, go on adventure with your children. I mean, going on retreat or I know you do some retreats, that coming of age process, any way you can get it. Any way you can get it. If you don't know how to go about it, then plug into someone like you've got, where they can just plug in. They can give you, literally, just pay you to set it up in a framework that's going to serve them. But have the courage to do that, and do that with their child, no matter what their child says about, I'm not going to enjoy this. The difference between a child enjoying the wilderness and not is 5 days. No matter what the kid is. I used to do adventure-based learning a lot. And that's how long it takes. The kid will resist it, resist it, resist it, and resist it. And all of a sudden, you'll see them fascinated by a mushroom, or they see a deer, they see a kangaroo joey, they see something. And it's about, why? Because it's in us. We are nature. Our ancestors don't think in terms of apes, think in terms of mushrooms. Think in terms of the first organisms, fungi. And we are of the earth. So people who take mushrooms, they feel like they want to step out there and feel nauseous. They just need to step outside and hug a tree or lie on the ground, and all of a sudden they'll feel great. Why? Because it wants to get back to home again. We are of the earth. We will return to the earth. And if you want your child to really have an adventure with your child, to really connect with your child, get out in nature. It's the great cure-all. I'm a big fan of your retreats, mate. It's good stuff.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. You spoke earlier about knowing thyself. And imagine there's a dad out there listening, and it's like looking for traction, looking for direction in his own life. And maybe has multiple kids, lots of tasks that other people are providing him and feeding him, and this long laundry list. What would you suggest to him and taking that step down that journey of understanding and knowing thyself?
The first step in that, immediately my mind goes to a product that I offer, which is the online experience of the Luck Bubble, which is exactly that, because most people ask that question. So I had to create something for them outside of, I'm very high ticket and expensive. So as a gift back to the world, I created an online experience that takes you through a simple 25-minute meditation in which you can be with what is. Because that's what we're talking about, to know thyself. First of all, you've got to neutralize what's going on for you. You've got to learn to be with what is. Now, meditation is great. Breath work is great. But so far as evolution of the human spirit is concerned, it's knowing thyself. And it's naming what's coming up for you when emotion is high. Anyone can be one with the world when they come out of yoga and shavasana. But try being one with the world, and when some prick cuts you off in traffic and you're late for something, that's hard. So when emotion is high, it's not the person that cut you off in traffic, it's you. You think it means something about you. Oh, I'm late. I'm always late. This person doesn't care about me. I'm not enough. I fucked this up again. I'm angry. Why am I angry? Is powerless, and anger is powerlessness. So whenever you're angry, simply be with your anger. Breathe into it, because it's just an emotion. It can't hurt you. There's no need to express it or pound it out or get away from it. Just be with it. It's just an emotion. But ask what's underneath that. Where's that in the body? Ask what's underneath that. So I'll leave you guys a link at the end of this. And I do charge for it. There's a reason why I charge. It's only $47 Australian, literally. But there's a reason for it. We value what we pay for. If I give it to you for free, it won't fucking work. It won't work. I've given away free for 20 years, and it doesn't work. And they're the people who are the biggest pain in the ass with it, because they don't want it to work. You want it to work, cough up fuck all coin. If you haven't got the coin, then find it. Do the process and understand that you are the thing that's creating your reality. The first step is being with what is, being with how you feel. If the kid drives you crazy, for whatever reason, go lock the door, go to the bathroom, sit on the edge of the bed, whatever it is, and just be with what is. Your ability to be with what is brings you back to the present, which brings you back to magic, which brings you back to the ability as an energetic being to create your reality. Now, kids, you think you're evolved? Try spending a week at home with your family, because they're the ones who created our buttons. They're the ones who know how to push our buttons. So I say to people who think they're on the evolutionary path, go to spend the week at home at Thanksgiving. They're like, I want to kill my mother. I seriously want to choke her out. I want to choke her out. 6 years of jiu-jitsu, and my mother has a power over me. Just be with what is. Stop resisting. Long answer to your short question. Bit of a pump for what I've got, but the essence is find what it takes to be with what is. That's the answer.
Yeah, and I've been through Kirk's program, and it's a very crazy experience to feel the emotions and surrender to what those are and identify that they really are only emotions. Mm-hmm. And for me, my personal experience, and I don't know if this serves the highest good for me to share what I go through, or should people who are interested in this just go through it themselves? What do you think, Kirk?
Don't tell them what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
But tell them what your before and after was, your experience was.
So emotions that I was holding on to, fear, anger, I was able through the end of this to take away their power, take away the power of feeling or ignoring or fighting against my emotions, and rather lean into what they were. And it was a process that helped me move into a higher level of serving myself and serving my mission to help my family and help other dads.
Yeah, well, that's the essence of it. So I can't guarantee the way it'll come about for people in doing the exercise, but there'll come a moment in time where you just have a chance to neutralize what's going on for you. And then when you're empty, as all the great sages talk about, only when you're empty can you then be effective. Can you then create? Otherwise, you're simply just subconsciously creating this same thing over and over again, and it's perpetuated by the emotions you feel. See, Hollywood gets it wrong when it comes to the hero's journey. Hero's journey about get to the dragon, slay the dragon. It's why every tale is a hero's journey. First, you're born into a realm that is not great. And then the mentor comes along and he takes you across the threshold, but first you deny it. Then you step across the threshold and there's the tests and the allies and the training takes place. And then as you learn more and more about yourself, you come to the dragon. But you don't slay the dragon. You don't slay the dragon. You learn to ride the dragon. See, because our personalities are our personality. I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I'm powerless, whatever it is. You learn that it's always going to be there, but it's actually helping you because it reminds you, emotion reminds you that you're not neutral. Emotion reminds you that you're just perpetuating your shit right now. That old chestnut, that I'm powerless. No, it's going to be with that. And from that, when I neutralize that, takes the power out of it, as you said. And from that position, then you can be with your children, whatever's going on for them. But not only that, on an energetic level, they can feel it. And all of a sudden, you become the power. They go, they don't know what it is. They can't articulate it. But they're like, Dad's got it sorted. Here's my rock. Here's my rock. That's the way to be. Show them the way to be, don't tell them what to do. Show them the way to be. So good for you, mate. It's a very apt description of the process and what it does for people. A byproduct of that is what looks like luck. It's a byproduct is people like, you're not going to believe it. Shit just worked out this week. They've done 5 days of the meditation. I have a 21-day program that's to be released next month, which is a better way for people to get an experience that they will create luck. But there'll come a point in time where they're not, and their emotion is high. They're like, fuck. That's the meaning of life. It's becoming conscious of your incompetence. And
that's ego death.
Right, exactly. Oh, shit, I didn't even know this was going on. And that's why you get paid the big bucks. It's to show people what they don't know about themselves that's creating their reality in ways. And when the penny finally drops, it's a painful thing. Like, shit, the stuff that I fucked up in my life, it's my fault. Shit. Then we got kids on top of that. How much have I fucked them up? Jesus. And it hurts. But you just simply be with what is and you die that death. People come out the other side, they're resurrected. And that's the concept of my 3-month container. It's the quickest way that I know, knowing all that I know with intuition and having studied other cultures, it was the quickest way that I can get people to dying a death to who they are and be reborn and come back a different person. So we spent 6 weeks working together. I name them, I name their stuff, put pressure. Because once you learn about yourself, that's great. But can you hold that neutral under increasing amounts of pressure? And that's what we're looking for in Special Forces selection. We're simply just trying to iron out the guys who can't control their shit. They are funny fuckers at the top level. You got these guys who operate it, and they are funny bastards who are in the now getting it done. Because they know it doesn't mean anything about them. Oh, I'm shot. I've got a hole in me. It doesn't matter. She'll be right. And that's why Australians are so well liked within the Special Forces community, because we do have that convict quality of like, we're already fucked. Might as well have a good time. The English dropped us off here for stealing bread. A lot of shit here that wants to kill us, but fuck it. I might as well have a beer. She'll be right. It'll work out. And it does. Whether you think it's going to work out or not, you are right. Just realize that most of the time you're dedicated to proving that it's not going to work out because your shit's coming up. Get out of your own way. And this is a way to do that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. What would you say to somebody who's right on that edge? Like, I have a few clients in mind who they know that they're in the process of having that ego death, of seeing that there is something that they've done in the past, who they were, that impacted their relationship and the trajectory of their kids. What would you say to somebody who's hanging on and maybe right on the edge of like just taking that full ownership and experiencing that full ego death of, all right, I didn't see something that was there and it's on me?
Yeah. The first step in that is you got to be with what is. And like we just talked about, being with what is, until you come to dissolve the feeling underneath it all, everything you say or do is a waste of fucking time. It's just coming from the same space. You got to trust the dog to be a dog. You got to trust the snake to be a snake. People say you should trust everybody. No, you got to trust everybody to be how they are. If you've got a pattern of doing this shit, strong chance you're going to do it again in the future. So until you come to be with what is, what the shame or whatever it is you're trying to get away from, otherwise it's destined to recreate. We're just patternistic creatures. Yeah. So any act of, it's controversial, but Jung said it best before he died. The best you can hope for is that you spend more time in creating what you would love than you do in your shit, creating what you don't. I paraphrase, don't speak German, but you get the idea. Imagine this concept for a moment. Imagine that you had no past. Right, Thomas, you and I, right at this moment, that we had no past. We're just sitting here. No past. You and I. talking through a machine in this beautiful, I'm in this beautiful space, and I'm wearing a crisp, expensive shirt. And I'm like, it's for the first time I was seeing this shit. I'm going, purple pen. It was a fucking purple pen. We're right here. And I want to know everything about, like, dude, you're the ginger ninja. I want to know more about you. You're like a lumberjack meets the ninja ginger with your bloody bow in the back. I'm like, I want to know everything about you. Because I have no past right now. I'm right in the present.
Yeah.
What can we create? What do you want to create? Oh, shit. I'd love to go adventuring later on tonight. I'd love to go and see somewhere I've never seen before here in Vancouver whilst I'm visiting. That'd be cool. What would you want to do?
I want to go climb a mountain here. It's about 20 minutes from here, and I've never climbed to the top of it. I want to go do that.
Yeah, awesome. And you see your kids. Like, if my daughter said, I just want to hug the shit out of her. I want to squeeze her head off. I want to hug her so tight. I just want to feel her. I just want to hug her.
Yeah.
I'm devoid of past. It fucks us up. We spend our whole life trying to solve problems that haven't fucking happened yet in an attempt to resolve our shit from the past. And all the sages and all the wisdom throughout all time say one thing: as above, so below. As you are, so it is. So a cheat code is just imagine there's no past. If you're guilty about something, that's your shit. If someone doesn't know about it, don't thrust it upon them.
Yeah.
Just be a better man. How? By becoming fucking present. And if you can't become present and be in the essence of what you'd love, then you need to spend time going through what it is that's preoccupying your mind, which is your shit, which is the meaning of life, which is this concept that you're not enough, you're not worthy, you can't trust, there's something inherently wrong with you, you're not perfect, you're powerless, you don't have the capacity. Well, there's only about a dozen different bottom lines for people. It's all the same shit. You see it over and over again. So that's a cheat code for those fathers out. Just go out to your family right now. Sit here. If you're listening to this podcast and think, if I had no past and I was just right here, right now, what the fuck would I love to do? And then you see your wife, and sure, you've been arguing, whatever. You've got no past. You just see her and go, I remember you. I fucking love you. Fucking hug her, hold her, dip her, dance with her, tickle her, throw her over your shoulder, take her to the bedroom. Whatever the fuck. In that moment, that is the presence. The presence is the key. That's why it's called the present. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a gift.
Right?
It's absolutely a gift.
Etymology is the study of words. It's fucking fascinating. Like, it just fascinates me. There's always word. I get it a lot in intuition with people. Just like the etymology, just going into that word, it means a fucking lot. In presence, you know. I should have spelled it out. Present. You're in the present. It's a gift. It's truly a gift.
I love that. I feel like that ties nicely into one of the other 10 of your 3 tenets, which is having fun and enjoying.
It's just a game. And just like we talked about, it's just a game. How often you come back to realizing it's just a game is the game. It's how you win the game. Sitting here with you and going, it's just a game. I'm on this spinning rock in the edge of the universe for such a short period of time. I'm a miracle of life. Why the fuck am I wasting my time concerned about shit that I cannot change? It's just a game. How am I going to win this game today? I'm going to talk to Thomas and we're going to exchange fucking love. And that's going to lead to someone that's going to have a better relationship with their kids. And that's awesome. But it doesn't mean anything about me. It's just a game. It's just a game. And when you're playing at that level, like literally, guys, there's a guy who nicked a femoral artery, didn't fall into combat, went the fast rope out of a chopper. It adjusted quickly. He landed hard and he fractured his pelvis and it nicked his femoral artery. Now, those of you who don't know, the femoral artery will bleed you out as quickly as your jugular vein. So, as being sliced throat, sliced there, you're in trouble. You're going to lose so much blood so quickly. And he fought for 5 hours. And then the exact details, he fought for about 5 hours and then got back on the helo for the exfil. And that's when he started bleeding.
Wow.
It transcends logic. That we're just energetic beings having a human experience. And the cheat code is It's just a game. And how you win it is by coming back to the now. It's all right. Just a game. How am I doing? You know, we've neurologically co-located in the brain that fear and excitement side by side. And the only difference between the two is the breath. Going through a doorway and you're thinking what's going to happen on the other side. You're trying to solve a problem that hasn't happened yet. That's fear. You're predicting the bad things are going to happen, assuming bad things are going to happen. It's the same in life. You're assuming bad things are going to happen because you start assuming, as opposed to the breath. Back to presence. I don't know what's on the other side of this door. But fuck, it's going to be a great story.
Love that.
And then guys kicking in a door, dude with an AK on the other side, cack. He still gets off, 8-9 rounds in the time it takes us to put 2 bullets in his head. Tap, tap. Down he goes, and all the boys looking at each other. 2 guys wedging the door, looking at each other going, "Are you hit? No? Are you hit? How the fuck did he miss us with an AK from 5 yards away?" And all the bullets between them on the wall behind him. With such alarming regularity that would happen.
Wow.
I guarantee the guy with the AK, scared, fear. I'm going to get fucked. What happened? He got fucked. My boys, this side of the doorway, breathe. Presence. You ready for this? Fuck yeah. What a good day to die. Don't know what's on the other side, but let's give it a crack. I'm going to die with a fucking gun in my hand going forward. And that's another thing about neurologically as well, is that we've proven that fear, shock can be broken by moving forward. So when we're set upon, or the lads are trained, I say we, it's actually not accurate because I didn't complete my training as an operator, and I feel guilty in saying that too, but in my observation of my teammates and now many other special forces around the world, that moving forward, we're taught to, under ambush, we charge at them. And you hear these stories all the time. The insurgents in Iraq, or the Afghanis would talk about, the Taliban would talk about how there's 400 of these bearded ghosts. They call it bearded ghosts because SF would wear beards as opposed to regular soldiers. 400 of them. And it would have been a team of 6. But the shock and awe, 6 guys going at them, just fire movement, laying it down. To the untrained Taliban, they would fucking run, they just dominated us energetically. But what we've proven is if you can't move forward, also a co-location in the brain is humor. Just have a good time. You can't move forward, you're shot, you're bleeding, you're down. It's 6 of you defending an untenable position. It's like, fuck it, she'll be right. I tell a story about a great mate was in a conflict, and they crossed a dark area at night, and a landmine went off and blew one of the boys' legs off. He's like, my leg. No, like, Mac, shut the fuck up. You're going to give our position away. Shut the fuck up. And he's like, my leg, I lost my leg. One of the boys said, no, you haven't. I've got it over here. And he held up his boot-encased foot. As dark as that shit is, it brought them back, and it made Mac like fucking bite down. Like, you motherfucker. Bite down, because the job is to keep rolling forward. Mac's task is to look after himself. Self-care. You got to look after yourself first. That's why the oxygen falls down you first. You take care of that first, then you put it on the child. It's the same in life. It's the same metaphor for your dads out there. You got to take care of you first. What are your needs? What are your wants? And what are your desires? There's a difference. You got to take care of your needs. Nothing is more miserable than a man who doesn't take care of his own fucking needs. Let me say this to you. I pose something to you. We're at the airport. You really need to pee, but you've been called up to maybe to the desk to be upgraded to first class, but you haven't called your loved ones yet, and they're boarding the aircraft. And you're going to be on a 20-hour flight, and you're busy all day. Which one is need, which one is a want, and which one is a desire?
The need is to go to pee.
Bingo.
The desire is to get to the first class.
Boom. The want.
And then, but what was the last? A want?
The want is you want to call your family. It means a lot to you to call your family.
Yeah.
The desire is first class. You'd love it, but it doesn't happen. Life goes on. But it's a dream, it's a desire. But then there's your needs. Your needs are very important. We need to be loved. We need to be held. We need to be respected. We need to be validated. People aren't very good at articulating their needs and taking care of them yourself. Don't look at your children to fulfill your needs. Give them the chance to grow up. Take care of your own needs. And only from that position, you take care of your needs of being heard, of being validated by being what is. Then you're neutral. Then you can go to them. Then you can be with what's going on for them instead of thrusting your stuff upon them. If your needs are for comfort, if your needs are for whatever, take care of your own needs. Very important.
It opens up the space to be able to serve our kids or our family, our wives, how they need to be served.
Right, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I'm sure you find that a lot with the coaching that you offer, that is a strong part of getting them to lead. It's being with
yes.
Right? Totally get it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We segue off what you're talking about. I'm sorry, I can't remember what it was, but I just got to that needs part was really important. Take care of one's own needs. Identify. People don't sit down and identify, what are my needs? Look, I have a need for adventure. If you keep me locked up, I have a need to be outside once a day. I have a need to sweat, a need to exercise. I have a need for laughter and engagement with my friends. If I don't have that, what the fuck is the point? They become needs for me. I take care of those needs. I don't trust that other people are going to be able to deliver them for me. So I take care of them myself. And what it does is, ironically, is it creates more of the same thing, like vibration attracting like vibration.
Yeah.
Opportunities galore come to me to travel, to adventure. Like last week I was in the Amazon. Shit. This week I'm in Vancouver in the snow. I went for a run through Stanley Park this morning in the snow.
Wow.
It's the adventure, It's great. I love it. It's all around.
Fantastic. The last of your 3 tenets that we haven't hit is getting the job done. Do you ever have the question of, well, that's great, then I'm like in the moment and present, but then what do I do to hit the rubber on the road and get shit done?
Yeah. Extrapolating out of getting shit done, let's say it was designed for the boys, in my observation, that they have the ability, when on task, they have a mission, situation mission. And the execution of that comes down to them being able to go, there's no time for any other thoughts. Like, you need to sort out your financial situation, your family situation at home, so that you can be free when you're in combat to be focused and present. You get a chance to make one mistake. And most teams in most SF cultures, on teams, you make one mistake, it's just a mistake. They happen. It's like, come on, bud. What can I, lift you again? It's just a mistake. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean anything about you. You make a second mistake within a short period of time. It's like, dude, where the fuck are you? What the fuck's going on? You're not here. You're not present. What's going on? How can I help you? And it doesn't come from screaming at them often. Sometimes it takes screaming at them to get out of it. It's like, what can I do to help you take care of this shit? You make a third mistake, you're off teams. You're off teams to sort your shit out so you can come back to being present. There's no room for excessive thinking or emotion in combat. Just get the job done. Deciding what the appropriate job is right in front of you is part of that equation. Like we just talked about your needs. Get the job done. Take care of your own needs. There's no room for excessive thinking or whining or bitching about it. Just get the fucking job done. It doesn't mean anything about you. Your job is to parent. Just get the job done. There's no room for excessive. If you have excessive thinking or emotion, you are not present. Therefore, you need to be with what you are, dedicated to proving about yourself. And I guarantee it's always the same thing in different guises. So the boys don't need to go through my process of understanding themselves because they've mastered the ability to just come back to the now. That's what selection does. Start with hundreds of dudes, and we're just putting you under pressure. We're just looking for those guys who innately have the ability to come back to the now, to come back to being present. And that way they can react. Great tales of not just avoiding death in combat, but of mission objectives, like high value target. Going after him, there's going to be a lot of bloodshed, a lot of collateral, but they've identified where he is, and this is the chance to get him. So they land on one side of the mountain, they tab in. Tab in's like they hustle in. over a few Ks silently at night
Wow.
to get there. See, most people don't realize most of the boys have done 7 or 8 Ks with 20, 30 kilos on their back before they even get to the fight. Then they fight for a number of hours, and then they got to get back out. Most people are dead in the warm-up. That's the level of ability. And you don't have a chance to whine about how much it hurts. You just get the job done. It hurts. See, pain is inevitable. Suffering, well, that's optional. And that's the ability of these boys to go, what I feel, what I think, doesn't matter. Just get the job done. But they'll arrive on target. They arrived on target, about to kick in the door, going through this compound. High-value target has 20, 30 bodyguards or highly, heavily armed individuals. One of the boys is, look up, high-value target is outside the compound wall on a private phone call to his mistress on the sat phone. And they're just like, because they're present, they just adjusted.
Right.
They just took him, bagged him, gagged him, put him over their shoulder, took him 7 Ks and got out without a single shot being fired.
Wow.
With his sat phone, with his 2 mobile phones, with all the data that they needed, that he would have, in a gunfight, he would have destroyed straight away. Even if they hadn't got to him, they wouldn't have got his intel. Not only that, no one even knows that they were there. So they spent the next, his team spent the next day trying to find him. So in that 24 hours, a chance to extrapolate a massive amount of data that was incredibly fortuitous. That's the ability of being in the now. There's no room for excessive thinking. Oh, did I leave the washing on? Did I? With the thing? I wonder if my girl's fucking around on me. No. Fucking present.
Dude.
Right? That's the mission. Whatever's in front of you, your work, earn the money, earn more money, get it done, 9 to 5. What's the task now? Be with my family. What's the task now? Room for excessive thinking or emotion in combat. You train yourself to do that. You become elite. In that, you watch the good fortune that happens as a result. The shit that just works out. It is like this. It's so simple, and yet, and the wisest of cultures, the wise men always talk about it. Kirk, what do you see? It's a tree. Yeah, but to the wise person, they know it's so much more than a tree. But the wisest, it's just a fucking tree. It's so simple. Just come back to the now. No room for excessive emotion, thinking. If you're thinking about something or emotion around it, it's the same thing. You're just preoccupied with how you think that makes you in the world. That's your thing. That's your know thyself, to be with how it feels. Underneath the doing and the thinking, there's always an emotion. Let's be with the emotion. Long answer to your short question, but I hope it served.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love your mission. I love you as a man and what you're providing for the world. If someone wants to find more about the services that you offer, where can they find you?
Sure. What I'll do is I'll send you a couple of links that people can access a couple of the offerings I have at the moment. There's the one-on-one stuff I do, the 3-month container. It's very intense. It ends up with us deep in a jungle somewhere and you becoming a completely different person. And the other is the online offering, which is just a taste, just a $47 taste of what it's like to come back to the now. With a lot of learnings in there as well. Instagram, The Luck Bubble, YouTube, probably a better space, longer stories and tales. My team now have some stuff up there as well. YouTube's The Luck Bubble. You can reach out to me via LinkedIn, Kirk Westwood or The Luck Bubble. And theluckbubble.com is a website. Is also a resource that people can go to access me and contact me directly if they're interested in working one-on-one or on whatever capacity.
Awesome. Kirk, thank you. It's an honor and privilege to interview you and dig into your insights. And I wish you good fortune and doing the better. You coin it as serving the greater good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
And so maybe real quick before we go, as a last nugget for the audience, what is serving the greatest good and how do you capture and identify if your action is doing that?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's the way it feels. And simply say, if you just say, I choose to serve the highest good, and then you ask, and like really mean it, I fucking choose to serve the highest good. And then ask, what serves the highest good in this situation? And then allow yourself to be informed by what's around you. There'll be a sign in front of you. There'll be something will happen, something you will hear. There's this guidance that's there that's outside of your mind. Ask what serves the highest. That's all you got to do. Ask. It's pretty simple. Ask and you shall receive. What you need is either 10 feet or 10 minutes away, in my learned experience of thousands of hours of doing this. That's what serves.
Beautiful. Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you, Kirk. Until next time, my friend, have a blessed day.
Thanks, Thomas. Love your work. Keep it up. Cheers, mate. Bye.